Hello everyone and welcome back to another math video. Today we're going to be talking about arc lengths and area of sectors of circles. So similar to the problems you see up on the screen here. Just a reminder, this is the normal version. If you want the speedrun version where we go through it pretty quickly, I'll link that in the description below. For your Ricasso Recap, you should already know how to do circumference of circles, area of circles, and you should know how to reduce fractions, or else have a calculator that can help you with that. If you want a refresher on any of these topics, there'll be videos in the description below. Please go watch those before you start this lesson. All right, new lesson starts now. Here we go. So for this problem, it says, in circle S, arc TVU, so this notation says arc TVU is highlighted, so that's the blue there, and it says arc TU measures 90 degrees. So arc T to U, this is the 90. So first question, there's two questions, says what fraction of the circle is highlighted? So remember that a full circle all the way around would be 360 degrees. And so in this case, we want to know how much is the blue. And so we take away 90 from 360, so 360 minus the 90 gives us 270. And then this is 270 out of the 360 total, because it says what fraction of the circle is highlighted? Well, it's 270 out of the 360. This, of course, can be reduced. If you reduce by tens, you get 27 over 36. And if you reduce by 9, you now get 3/4. Okay, so 3/4 of the circle is highlighted. So that's part one. Part two says, which expression represents the length of arc, or major arc, TVU, in inches? So the length of TVU is the outside of the circle. Okay, so we're talking about the circumference of the circle, but not the whole circumference, right? We only want 3/4 of the circumference. I'm going to say that sentence again. We only want the blue part of the circumference, which is 3/4 of the whole circle, right? We just found that in part one. So we know right away that this answer and this answer are incorrect because we want the 3/4 to be in our problem, or in our answer. And so now the difference is 9 pi or 6 pi. So we should know how to find circumference of a circle. Circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. So we're going to do, the radius here is going to be 3 inches. So we're going to do 2 times pi times 3. Notice pi is in your answer. So let's just multiply the regular numbers. 2 times 3 is 6 pi. So we want 3/4 of the circumference, which is 6 pi. So here's our answer. All right, here's our quick block for today, which means that it's time for you to practice what you just learned. Go ahead and pause the video and try these two problems on your own. And when you're ready, you can unpause the video and we'll check your answers. Okay, now that you've had time to work these problems, let's check your solutions. Okay, for the first problem here is the work. For the fraction, should have gotten 3/5. And for the final answer, should have gotten 3/5 of 3 pi, or 3/5 times 3 pi. And for the second problem here is the work. For your reduced fraction, should have gotten 3/8. And for your circumference, it should have been 3/8 times 14 pi. All right, for this problem, I like to call this the Pac-Man problem because it kind of looks like Pac-Man. It says in circle T, a sector is shaded. Okay, so a sector is just, part of the whole circle. It says angle BTC measures 90 degrees. So it says what fraction of the interior of the circle is shaded. So this part right here is 90 degrees. Once again, a circle is 360 degrees. So we do 360 minus the 90 tells us that 270 degrees are shaded. So 270 divided by 360 is 3/4 because we already did that one earlier. So we know this answer is wrong, this answer is wrong. And now remember, here it wants to know the area of the shaded sector. So we are not doing circumference anymore, we're doing area, right? So, okay, area of a circle is pi r squared. Here the radius is 6, so this is pi times 6 squared, which is 36 pi. And so we want 3/4 of 36 pi, which is this answer here. All right, time to practice. Go ahead and pause the video, try these last 2 problems on your own. When you're ready, unpause and we'll check your answers. Okay, now they've had time to work these problems, let's check your solutions. Okay, for the first problem here is the work. For your fraction, it's 1/6. And then for the area, it's 1/6 of 36 pi. And for the second problem here is the work. Should have gotten 1/3 for your fraction, and then 1/3 times 9 pi. All right, that's it for today. I hope you all have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.